Hi there, my name's Kevin Chambers. I'm the creator of RideSheet, and in this video, I want to show you a number of things that RideSheet does to make creating and managing trips easier for small agencies that are using it for tracking demand responsive transportation services. So let's get right into it. Here I have on the screen a demonstration copy of RideSheet, and I'm in the trips tab, and I've got some dummy data up here, but I'm going to create a brand new trip and show you how RideSheet can make your life easier. So let's start off here by just picking a date for a trip. I'm going to pick Monday of next week, and I'm going to pick a rider. I'm going to pick Mildred Jones here as the person who's going to get a new trip. And right off the bat, after selecting the customer, we see the first thing that RideSheet does to make your life easier. And that is to fill in the pickup address and the drop-off address for this rider. And the reason it does that is because over here in the customer sheet, we have in the customer record a number of default values. We have a default pickup address, we have a default drop-off address, and that is what you saw get copied in over on the trip sheet. In this case, this is our example home address. And now I want to move on to the next thing, which is how we can get estimated trip times and distances for every trip created. So it's already done that with this default data. If we look all the way over here, there's a couple columns on the far right. We have the column headings in blue to indicate that they're generated from RideSheet and that you cannot or should not enter values in here. But we see for this trip, the estimated trip travel time is 1.3 hours and about 57 miles. So we know that for this default trip. In this case, to get on with the next thing that RideSheet can do for you, I'm going to actually change this address to a hospital. I'm going to change this drop-off address to Pioneer Clinic. I have this as an address that's already in our address list. So after a pause, it should fill in the address for me. There we go. So now we have the address for where Mildred's going on this trip. And you'll see that a little message popped up saying that the travel time has been updated. And so now we have a new distance based on this new drop off. Now, I can use that information to help make selecting the pickup and drop off times a little easier. So let's say that this rider needs to get to their appointment at the clinic at 10 a.m. So I'm just going to enter the appointment time of 10 a.m. And what RideSheet's going to do for me is fill in these drop off times and the pickup time based on that estimated distance. So 10-minute cushion here for drop-off time so that they have some time to get into their appointment, and then gives me a pickup time of 8:34. So this is a little longer than the one and some hours that was estimated, and that's because RideSheet has functionality to build in a little cushion time in the travel itself to account for unexpected delays and the time it takes to board and alight from the vehicle. Okay, so now we have one trip, getting the person from their home to their destination. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's say this person from their clinic visit, they need to go stop at the pharmacy, and they know that ahead of time. So we're going to build that into their trip plan. So to do that, I'm going to use these two columns here, the I and J columns, the action and go columns. And if I click on the down arrow for the action column, you can see that there's an option here to add a stop. I'm going to do that. I'm going to select add a stop. Part two of this is to click the go checkbox. And once I do that, that'll trigger RideSheet to collect all the data it needs to create a new trip right below it. And so now you see that for the same day with the same rider, it's created a new trip using the drop-off location of the previous trip for the pickup location of the next trip. So that's all set up now. And now I just need to say where they're going to go. So I say they're going to go to Murray's Pharmacy, and I'm just going to type in Murray's because I've already set that up in my address list, and that should result in setting up the address for that. And it also set up automatically that their pickup time for this new leg after their clinic appointment is going to be 1 hour after their appointment time. So I can change this to anything else I want, but let's just stick with that and say that's great. That gives them a drop-off time of 11:08 at the pharmacy. And now, after picking up whatever they needed from the pharmacy, we can create their last leg, which is to return home. So for that, I'm going to again go to these action go columns. And instead of adding a stop, I'm going to add a return trip. Select that, click the go checkbox, and that will create our third leg for this rider. And you can see here that it took the drop-off location from the previous trip, put it in the pickup, and then for the drop-off address, took the pickup location from the first leg and used that as the drop-off location. So this is their return trip back to their original pickup at the beginning of the day. Now, again, it adds an hour here. In this case, that's not really what we want. So I'm just going to clear these out. I'm going to set this to be about half an hour. I'm going to say, I think they'll be pretty fast at the pharmacy. So I'm just going to say 11:30 a.m. And with a little moment, it will fill in with another time that it thinks is right based on the distance between the pharmacy and their home in Condon. So now we have 3 trips. This looks good to me, so I'm going to stick with this drop-off time. And now we have 3 trips that are ready for assigning to a driver and a vehicle. And so that's where I'm going to go over to these columns over here. We have a driver ID column, a vehicle ID column, and a run OK column. So I want to explain these a little bit. You'll notice that for this test data up above, we already have assignments to drivers and vehicles. And then for those rows, the run OK column is green. And what that means is that this combination of drivers and vehicles correlates and matches a run that we have over here in this runs sheet. So what I've done is I've created runs ahead of time by saying these are the drivers and vehicles that I have scheduled, assigned for service for those days. And when I assign a trip to that driver vehicle combination, this validates that yes, there is a driver that's going to be using that vehicle on that day within the time range that this trip is going to happen. So you'll notice because we haven't assigned a driver or vehicle for Mildred here, the color is not green, but rather yellow, saying, yeah, this could work out, but you haven't selected anybody yet. There are drivers available, but you need to pick one. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pick driver JB. And here's where we get another help from the system. So when I selected JB, what RideSheet is doing is it's looking at the runs available. I said, oh, you selected driver JB for this time period. Do we have a run? And if so, which vehicle is the right one? And it fills that in for us. You don't have to fill in both these fields. If you have one, it will fill in the other. And you can see now that this is green. And I can do that also I'm just going to copy this value in here, and I'm going to paste it in these other rows. And now it fills it in for that also. And now we're good to go. So that's it. We have a trip, we created it, we created additional legs, we assigned all those legs to runs, and this trip is ready for sending out to the driver. I hope this was helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.